A big show today. We'll talk Rico's six-figure score. Where did Jock Goodyer go? Outlaws at Husets, weekend winners, and we'll wrap up with an interesting peek behind the curtain and a potential alternate universe type situation in dirt late model racing. Let's go. It's Sunday, September 1st. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. It's another Crown Jewel week at Eldora, which actually starts today with the Baltus Classic. Coming up, we've got the Flow Series on Wednesday, then the World 100 gets going on Thursday. While you're in town for the races, make sure to stop by the Whistle Stop Bar and Grill to get some good food and some good drink. It's located just 7 miles south of the racetrack in Ansonia, Ohio. And besides the Whistle Stop, they also have a sister business located in downtown Greenville, Ohio called Sure Shot Tap House. Sure Shot Tap House is a 46-tap self-pour facility featuring domestic and craft beer, ciders, seltzers, bourbons, and wines. They also have a self-serve cocktail machine that complements their amazing food menu. Head upstairs to the Bullseye Game Lounge for some duck pin bowling or play one of the other 24 arcade games. Sure Shot is the ultimate destination to eat, drink, and play all under one roof. And this year, they're running buses from Eldora to Sure Shot on the Fridays of all major events. That obviously includes this week. The trip includes a buffet, a $15 pour card, swag bag, and more. Visit SureShotTapHouse.com/events for more information on this great trip. Well, we got a lot to get into today. I'll start first with the big money sprint car show out west with the Kubota high limit teams at Skagit. What a weekend it was for Rico Abreu. 6th on Thursday, won Friday, and then picked up the $102,000 last night for the richest win of his career. James McFadden was out front early on Saturday, but Rico got the lead before halfway and held him and Brad Sweet off down the stretch. It was his 6th high limit win of the season and 9th overall to go with 2 Outlaw scores and the Capitani Classic. It's been a bit of a strange year for Rico and Ricky Warner, with it taking some time for them to win with high limit, and there have been some kind of fits and starts along the way. After winning at I-70 in June, they went 3 straight races with finishes of 15th or worse, but in the 13 races since then, have only been outside the top 10 twice, and they've won 4 times. They've definitely found some consistency as of late, and they could be in a good position to take down even more big money before the season is over. The Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal is next, a place where Rico has been fast before, and then it's back to Lernerville, where Rico won in July. Trey Starks backed up his Grays Harbor win last week with a Thursday prelim win as well, but had issues on Friday before finishing 7th last night. And Justin Sanders, 6th or better all 3 nights. Good showing from him. In the High Limit Championship, it's all Brad Sweet now out front. 2 podiums Friday and Saturday, along with a miserable weekend for Tyler Courtney. Sees the advantage now over 200 points. If this continues with Sunshine's troubles, we could see Rico rise to 2nd. He's not that far behind Courtney right now. And with James McFadden's hot streak, the Roth 83 is actually now up to 4th in the owner standings, pushing Brent Mark's team down to 5th. We're down to the 83, the 19, and the 14 battling for those final 2 charter spots. With the West Coast swing now in the books, it's highway time as the Tusky 50 begins on Thursday. A lot of driving to do over the next couple of days. And for my friends down under, if you are keeping up with Jock Goodyer, he was involved in a Thursday heat race crash at Skagit, and the Works Limited 57 team then decided to head back to California after that. So they did not race Friday, they did not race Saturday. They went to Placerville last night to run the 360 race, where he went 20th to 7th. In 8 high limit starts, Jock's best finish was 13th at Roseburg. He was in features in half of those races. Jock will have more opportunities, though, coming up with a lot more West Coast racing to come. Across the country at Husets, the Friday and Saturday World of Outlaws wins went to Sheldon Hodenshield and Carson Macedo. No surprise from either driver. Both have been very good as of late. Chase Randall led a bunch of laps last night. He was impressive, finishing 2nd, kind of in a last-second fill-in role type situation. And Emerson Axum ended up on the podium Friday after leading the most laps in that one. The sprint car rise of Axum this season has been one of my favorite storylines. And we did have a vicious crash on Friday at the start of the B-Main when Brock Zierfoss kind of careened off the berm out of 4 right into Donnie Schatz. Max Guilford, Brant O'Banion also collected in that one. Schatz was done for the night. Guilford actually sat out the rest of the weekend to recover. It was Schatz's first B-Main exit in an Outlaw show since June of 2023. That was also at Husets. It was strange watching the TSR 15 hauler driving out of the racetrack before the program was even complete. Today at Husets, they're going to race for $100,000 to win. Points from last night set the heat race lineups for today. Hot laps are slated for 7 p.m. Central. Before we move on, I am running a Labor Day sale on Dirt Tracker merch through Monday night. If you use code LABORDAY24 at checkout at shop.dirttracker.com, you can get 25% off your entire order of shirts and stickers. That includes the sprint car shirts you can see on the screen, which I still have most sizes of. They're starting to run low on a few of them. That's Labor Day 24 at checkout for 25% off. I'll put a link below in the video description. Across the country, quite a bit of weekend dirt racing has been affected by rain that included cancellations in central Pennsylvania, the loss of the Super Dirt Car Series at Lebanon Valley, and the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at Portsmouth. It looked like maybe the Hillbilly 100 will be good to go today, but it's been lost as well. So I would expect at least some of those teams to head to Eldora early and maybe try and race today for the Baltus Classic. I saw Nick Hoffman tweeted, "This might be the most stacked field for less than 10,000 to win that you will see all season." Lincoln Speedway has sprint cars this afternoon as well in Pennsylvania after they got rained out. At 300 Raceway, Ricky Thornton Jr. was undeterred by a 25th place start in the big Friday night stock car show. He drove straight through the field to score the $100,000 XR win. He topped Dallin Murdy and Caden Carter in that one. No shock to see RTJ picking up big cash. It's something we've grown quite familiar with recently. In weekend XR Super Series late model action, Bobby Pierce was the winner Friday night, outdueling Ryan Gustin and Brandon Shepard for $15K. Gustin got his revenge last night, though. He topped Pierce and Ethan Dotson for a $50,000 payday. It was his first career late model win in his home state of Iowa. Other weekend late model winners included Mason Ziegler Friday at Bedford with the ULMS. Dalton Wilson won with the Ironman Series at Portsmouth. Chris Simpson and Tony Jackson Jr. were MLRA winners. And Shannon Babb won with Mars at Fairbury. Weekend open wheel winners included Justin Grant in a rain-shortened Silver Crown show at DuQuoin. Hank Davis swept ASCS races in Montana. Nick Omdahl was a NOSA winner. Cap Henry won with Fast at Attica. Willie Croft won that 360 show at Placerville last night. Sammy Swindell was a USCS winner. And Joel Myers Jr. won with the IRA. Elsewhere today, the USAC Midgets are racing, as is the Short Track Super Series, Power Ice Sprint Cars, the Race Saver Nationals at Eagle, Mars Late Models at Spoon River. If you want to see a full rundown on the Sunday streaming schedule, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. Before we close out today, some more dirt late model stuff to talk about and kind of think about. And, you know, when we kind of start talking about content and some of these things in the sport of dirt racing. When we talk silly season and ride changing and rumors and all of that stuff, I don't know about you guys, but I love those things. It's like free agency in other sports or the trade deadline. The drama and intrigue behind the on-track or on-field action, I find really fun and really interesting. It's something I wish we got more of in dirt racing, was that coverage of these moves and the conversations that happen. Now, obviously, we would need people to be more forthcoming than they are, and there would need to be, media allowed to use sources for that to happen. And I'm certainly trying to do some of that here as well, but it's not easy, and some stuff we will just never be privy to. But for one story that's played out this season, we did in recent days get just a bit of a peek behind the curtain of at least a small part of the process in a driver search. We all know that back in March, in a sudden and unexpected move, Hudson O'Neal decided to leave the Rocket House car really just a few months after taking down the 2023 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship. And in the aftermath, Tim McCready was named the house car driver, and now the chatter continues about possible changes there again for 2025. We don't know publicly what sort of process Mark Richards went through to replace O'Neal back a couple of months ago, who he spoke with, how long it took him to decide on McCready. There have been rumors about other drivers he reached out to, though, which included some of the biggest names in the sport, as you would expect. Back last Thursday, I did a daily show where we talked about the Category 5 late model chassis and some of the rumors around the Landers team and Jonathan Davenport in connection to that chassis. I've been paying attention to some of the Landers stuff because of it and came across some interesting tweets from Gavin Landers. If you don't know who Gavin Landers is, his dad Lance owns the team or the car that Jonathan Davenport drives. But first, in one tweet, he says that the Landers team that Davenport drives for not switching to the Category 5s and is, quote, 100% with Longhorn. That's certainly newsworthy and, kind of in and of itself. Gavin also addressed recent rumblings about a potential Davenport departure, saying the rumors are false. Also noteworthy. What I found most interesting, though, was in that thread, another user asked if the rumor of a potential move of Davenport to Rocket back in March was true. Landers responded that Rocket had reached out, but, quote, that's all. So confirmation that Davenport was one of the drivers considered to replace O'Neal, and even if it wasn't realistic, Richard still worked through the due diligence. Obviously, a move didn't happen, but Jonathan Davenport replacing Hudson O'Neal in the Rocket House car would have made that sequence of events even crazier than it turned out to be. There is an alternate universe right now where JD is the Rocket House car driver instead of McCready. That's absolutely wild to think about. There are going to be people watching this episode today because of the thumbnail that I will use, who will accuse me of clickbait and talking about drama that doesn't matter. But I think it would be a good thing if the curtain got pulled back a little more often when it comes to moves like this. Too many are trying to control the narrative in dirt racing, and in turn, it just kills whatever narrative there actually is, or creates one that's shallow and uninteresting. You want more fans at the track, you want more fans on streaming, you want more fans buying merch, then give us some compelling storylines to invest in. Some leaks about the process of hiring a driver for a high-profile ride like the Rocket House Car would have kept us engaged for a while, no doubt. Message boards and Facebook groups and social media rumors all get looked down upon publicly and often talked down about. But guess what, fam? Everybody is lurking in there trying to get a sense of what's really happening, even if they don't say they are. We'll call it good for there today. I hope you guys have a great Sunday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.